The first rule in investment is don't lose. And the second rule in investment is don't forget the first rule, and that's all the rules there are. I mean, if you buy things for far below what they're worth, and you buy a group of them, you basically don't lose money.
Imagine waking up in a world where money doesn't exist. No coins, no cash, no credit cards, no crypto. You want food? You trade clothes in return. You need clothes? You better have something that someone else wants, because the entire concept of money was never invented. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. What if the concept of money was never invented? What does that world look like? Let's get something straight. Money is not just the stuff in your wallet. Money is a medium of exchange, a way to assign value so people don't have to trade 3 chickens for a pair of sandals. It's trust, it's convenience, and it's also a brilliant way to hoard power. The first money wasn't even money. It was stuff like salt and cattle. Eventually, we moved to coins, bills, and now invisible numbers on a screen. But what if we never made that leap? What if humanity stayed stuck in the barter age forever? Let's imagine a world where trade is still done, item for item. Barter system. Right away, we hit problem number 1, scale. You can't build cities on bartering. Try organizing the construction of a pyramid when your workers demand daily payment in goats, clay pots, and corns. Trade becomes a logistical nightmare. And forget taxes, unless the IRS is cool with being paid in firewood. Without money, governments, as we know them, probably don't exist. No centralized economies, no taxes, no big banks manipulating interest rates while wearing fancy suits. And without money, you know what else vanishes? Capitalism. Which means no mega corporations, no stock markets, no UFC, and no inflation. In short, Jeff Bezos is just Jeff. But hold on, you might be thinking, hey, isn't that kind of good? No money means less inequality, right? Not exactly. See, without money, wealth becomes physical. Whoever has the most cows, the most farmland, that's the new billionaire. Except instead of tax shelters and offshore accounts, they've got muscle, land, and probably a small army to protect it all. Power just shifts form. Instead of a digital number in a Swiss bank, it's now a warehouse full of barley guarded by 3 angry dudes with spears. Trade becomes tribal, hyper-local, and deeply inefficient. That's not a global economy. That's Animal Crossing with worse graphics. Now let's talk technology. You think you're getting Wi-Fi in a world without money? Forget it. Technological innovation depends on specialization. People doing one thing really well and getting paid for it. Without money, you can't pay engineers, researchers, or that one guy who figured out how to shoot things into space. Why would anyone spend 10 years studying math when they can't even trade their knowledge for food? So innovation slows to a crawl. We might still invent basic tools, maybe even agriculture and writing. But rockets, satellites, AI, that stuff needs funding. And in this world, there's no Kickstarter for inventing the internet. Oh, and by the way, without money, education changes too. Schools, universities, gone. You learn what your parents know, maybe what your village elder knows. But there's no national curriculum, no education loans, and no degrees. It's back to an oral tradition, one big game of generational telephone. But hey, it's not all bad. Maybe there's more community, more cooperation, more empathy. People are less obsessed with status because there's no shiny car or Rolex to show off. Value becomes personal. A neighbor who shares food, a healer with wisdom, a storyteller who keeps culture alive. In some ways, it sounds kind of beautiful. Until someone needs emergency surgery and the only surgeon in town only trades for ducks, and you've got none. Then it's back to capitalism, or at least duck smuggling. So where does that leave us? A world without money isn't peaceful. It's different, messier, simpler in some ways, far more chaotic in others. Instead of corporations and credit scores, you've got direct trade and personal value. Instead of billionaires, you have warlords. Instead of wage gaps, you have livestock gaps. So next time you're cursing rent or staring at your empty bank account, just remember, the alternative might be worse or better. It depends. But the truth is, money didn't make us greedy. We made money because we were already greedy. It just made it easier to count. So what do you think? Would a world without money be a paradise of human cooperation? Or just Mad Max with more chickens? What if we never invented agriculture? What if humans never discovered fire? What if the internet was created in ancient Rome? Drop your weirdest, wildest what-if ideas in the comments. Just fuel the next reality-bending episode. Until then, keep asking impossible questions. It's way more fun than reality.